Sebastian Lemons.
Hi.
Hello, Sebastian.
Nice to meet you.
So we're going to talk about what you've seen at CA World so far and how the show is going. So what have you seen that's interesting?
Yes, actually I'm looking for continuous testing solutions and product because nowadays a lot of organizations are getting equipped to automate a lot of actions like deployment actions. They start to realize that they can introduce the release orchestration, which is for me the continuous delivery. But we start to see that testing could be also improved and done in a continuous fashion. Mm-hmm. Therefore, I'm quite interested in tools like service virtualization because it allows to mock systems on which we are dependent and which were difficult to provide to ensure a proper testing, but also about test data management solutions, like when you need to take back information from production to lower level environment to simulate test data for your developers and your testers.
Okay.
So I'm also interested inside solutions like BlazeMeter, which allows to test your application on a large scale. We were talking about a few thousand transactions per second,
right.
And it's quite difficult to provide such kind of system internally, while on the cloud you have those solutions at the click of a mouse.
Right.
And my focus is about how to integrate those solutions together inside the continuous delivery pipeline.
So for continuous delivery, you would say like continuous testing has been maybe part of the missing link?
Yes, it's a missing link as of now because developers tend to have tools inside their continuous integration platform to test at the unit testing level. Mm-hmm. And then we had teams which were doing like end-to-end testing in QA environment with tools which are much more heavyweight. But in lower level environment like test, we were missing that link to allow to continuously test what has been produced by the developer as soon as it is available and on a variable scope. You see, you want to test at the unit level only in development or on the component level, while on the test and QA environment, you want to test a whole system, an integration of system.
I see. So you talked a lot about different testing tools and the orchestration. So if you need to tie your testing tools together, so you have a release automation on one piece, have you guys looked at other products to do that tying together in the orchestration?
Actually, we want to have CDD tying all those components together.
And that's Continuous Delivery Director?
Yeah, Continuous Delivery Director.
Yeah.
What we want is that we have a release automation engine which deploys components onto systems. We want to have a Continuous Delivery Director linking any content coming from a portfolio management system like Agile Central, for instance, which defines which user stories we have to deliver in the pipeline. And then we need a tool which allows to trigger tests, whatever the test it is, being a performance test, a functional test, and to integrate the result of those tests inside CDD.
Right.
And so I was looking for a solution like CDD Now, the next version, which allows to fetch test assets or test suites from an external system inside CDD and to trigger test execution in another system, like let's say BlazeMeter, for instance.
Yes.
And it allows to provide a kind of metric of all the tests which is passing or failing, and then it allows to develop a pipeline in CDD which permits to take the decision if we promote the bundle to production or not. And that is the next level, I believe, that today we were focused on orchestrating the automation of releases.
The
pipeline, mainly.
And now we're going to the next phase.
Now we want to go to the next phase. We want to orchestrate the delivery of quality to a customer of a certain business value.
Right.
So therefore we need to have a kind of end-to-end traceability for what business requirement or ID do we deliver something into the target environment and at which level of quality.
Right.
Because what I see in most organizations, we don't want to develop a 100% perfect product. It takes too long time. We want to deliver something which is good enough for the time to market That's the most important value.
And then you
actually.
can iterate on that as you go.
Yes, you can iterate as you go.
Yeah.
And that was the missing link, the link to go to the next level, which is testing continuously, therefore continuous testing.
It's volume, velocity, and quality, and that's sort of the next phase of continuous delivery.
Yes.
And I sort of set you up for that because we are showing some new capabilities with CDD, Continuous Delivery Director, at this show. Yeah.
Exactly,
Beautiful, beautiful. So what's next for continuous delivery, in your opinion?
My opinion will be to integrate all the test systems inside CDD and to provide end-to-end visibility on the quality of what we deliver. But that means that CDD will have to manage test environment and to be able to manage test data. And so we can plug in other tools inside CDD to allow to manage those test data and to deploy, let's say, virtual services which are mocking missing subsystems to allow a smoother testing. So what we want to do is to shift left testing activities, you see?
Yes, of course.
In the past, we were testing very late in the delivery cycle, like in QA environment, and errors were discovered very late and very difficult to fix.
Very difficult to find and fix.
And to find and fix.
And expensive.
Yeah. Therefore, what we want is to shift left to allow a developer to test like a whole system by having only one component at hand and all the rest is virtualized. And we also want to have the capability for CDD to drive testing environment. So it should be able to provision testing environment. Basically, it's a possibility to provision environment on the cloud, for instance, AWS or whatever type of cloud which is available nowadays.
So there's a lot coming up for CA and CDD and all the continuous testing tools that we have. So I hope that everyone who is listening to this interview got something, learned something new, and stay tuned for more interviews on Continuous Testing Live.